In previous class, we started with finding out the initial basic feasible solution by method of Vogel's approximation, and then we also solved one problem to find the total minimum transportation cost. And for that, we need to do the optimality check. And for optimality check, we have used the modified distribution method, also known as UV method. And then we have found out at the end the opportunity cost. Now, what does the significance of opportunity cost is? If it is positive, it indicates that there is an opportunity to reduce cost much further. But if the opportunity cost is negative or zero, it indicates that if you allot in any other cell, there is no opportunity that the one which we have got from initial feasible solution can be reduced further. So this was the thing which we have studied in the previous class. Let us see one more problem and check how to solve the problem on transportation. So the question says a manufacturer has distribution center at XYZ. So these are the three locations of distribution center. These centers have availability of 40, 20 and 40 units of products. His retail outlets are A, B, C, D. So these are the five, let us say, customers or the points where the demand has to be supply has to be reached. Requires 25, 10, 20, 30, 50 units respectively. The transport cost in rupees per unit between each center is given below. Determine the optimal. See this word. In previous example, the word was minimum. Here it is determine the optimal distribution to minimize the total cost of transportation. This is the matrix given. The first step in any problem to start the transportation or the initial basic feasible solution is to check whether the supply and demand are equal or not. So can someone tell me what is supply and demand and whether they are equal or not?
Equal, sir.
Equal 100.
And what's the value? Yes, 100. So yes, on the availability side and on the demand side, the supply and demand are equal and it's equal to 100. That means I can proceed further for my initial basic feasible solution. And for that, I will start with the Vogel's approximation method. So for Vogel's approximation method, I need to make some penalty rows and penalty columns. So I will now start calculating the penalties for each row and each column. And how to calculate penalties? Just take the difference between two minimum numbers of that particular row or that particular column. Now, in first row, you can observe that the two minimum numbers are 30 and 40. So the penalty will be 10. Second row, similarly, it will be 5. And third row, it will be 5. Because the minimum number is 30 in third row and 35 is the second minimum number. Similarly, if I go column wise, can you tell me the penalties column wise?
5.
Okay, then next column.
0.
30 and 30, both the minimum numbers are same, so penalty will be 0. Then next, 40 and 95, penalty will be 55. Okay, similarly, we will find out the penalties of all particular rows and columns. So now, after finding out penalties, we have to check which is the most highest penalty. So most highest penalty is obvious, like there it is there 55.
55.
So that means that particular column will be selected for allocation. So I have made an arrow here that this particular column will be selected. Now in this particular column which is selected, where to allocate first? So allocation will be done at the minimum cost. So in this particular column, the minimum cost is this one. The first minimum cost is this 40. So I will allocate here. And how much to allocate? Allocation will be minimum of supply and demand. So here it is 40 and here it is 20. So 20 will be allocated. After allocation, don't forget to make the adjustment or counter effects. So counter effects will be this 20 will go off. It has been fulfilled completely and this 40 will become 20. So this completes our first iteration of penalty method. Now let us go for the second iteration. Again, same logic we will apply. We need to find out penalties for each row and each column by taking the difference of minimum two values in that particular row or column. So can you try that? Can you tell me what are the penalties in the rows?
20.
25. 5.
25 and 5. Yes, correct. 25 and 5. And what about columns?
5, 0,
5, 0.
10, 20.
Okay, 5,
10,
0,
20.
10, 20. Correct. Now we have to check the maximum penalty. So now there is a tie here. Tie is in the last column and in the first row. Okay, last column and first row. So last column is also 20. Okay, and this column is also, or this row is also 20. Now we need to check in which particular place we will allocate the cost is minimum. So in this particular row, if I allocate in this particular row, the numbers are 55, 30, 50 and 50. Okay, so the minimum number is 30 if I allocate in the first row. But if I go column wise, okay, if I go column wise, again the numbers are 50, 60 and 30. So again minimum number is 30. So now there are two ties. So first tie was on penalty. Now in maximum penalty, there is a tie. So if there is a tie, you have to check for the minimum cost. Okay. Second is the minimum cost. Then if there is a tie in minimum cost also, then you have to see the allotments, wherever you can allot more. Okay, now let us see here. So this was our point of concern, this 30 and this 30 was our point of concern. Now let us see how much we can allocate at this particular points. So at this particular point, x2, how much I can allocate maximum?
10.
So here I can allocate 10 units. Now let us see how much I can allocate here at this particular location, 30, Z5. The supply is,
15.
yes, 15 and 40 and 15. So minimum is 15. So I can allocate 15 here. So third, you have to check where you can allot maximum. So these are the penalty or the tiebreakers. So maximum allotment. So this sequence you have to follow. First, you need to check maximum penalty. Then if the penalty is same or there is a clash in penalty, you have to do the tiebreaker, and tiebreaker will be on the base of minimum cost. Then if you find that in the minimum cost also there is a tie, then for this tiebreaker you have to check for the maximum allotment. Okay, so here we have discussed that at this particular location x2 we can allot only 10, and at this particular location we can allot 15. So maximum allotment is 15. Hence, I will allocate there first. So here I have allocated 15. You can see. So once the allocation is done, next step before moving further is making the counter effects. So counter effects will be this 15 will go entirely, and this 40 will now become 25. Okay. Now this iteration is also complete. Now we need to go for the third iteration. So again, tell me what is the column row wise penalty and column wise penalty.
25.
First is 25, second is 5, no, second is 5 and third is 5 again. Yes, correct. 25, 5 and 5, and the column wise penalty will be 5, 0 and 10. Now it's very crystal clear that the maximum penalty is 20, so we don't have to go for this tiebreakers. So directly I will select this 20 as my row for allotment, and in this row where to allocate will be done at the minimum cost. So minimum cost is 30 now remaining. So this is the cell where allocation will be done, x2. And how much will be allocated? The minimum of supply and demand. So how much will be there? Allocation at this cell, 30.
10.
10 will be allocated because the difference, the minimum of supply and demand is 10. So 10 will be allocated. Now counter effects, this 10 will go off and this 20 will become now 10. So this iteration is also over. Now going for next iteration, again I will find the penalties. So penalties are now this 5, 10, 5, 5 and 10 respectively. Again you observe that there is a tie here. The tie is between this second row 10 and the fourth column 10. So what we need to do? We need to check in which particular row or column the cost is minimum. So let us go and analyze. In this particular row, second row, the minimum number is 35. Okay. And in the fourth column, again I am getting a tie. Here also the number is 35. Here also, if I consider this column, then also the number is 35. So I am on the second step now. First I have taken the maximum penalty, there was a tie. Then I look for the minimum cost, again there is a tie. Now I will go for the maximum allotment part. So let us see how much we can allocate at particular locations. So for Y1, okay, tell me for Y1 how much I can allocate.
20.
For Y1 I can allocate 20. This is not a final allocation, I am just explaining you. So I have just written here 20 can be allocated. And what about here at this particular point?
25.
25. So here you can see that this 25 allotment is greater. So we have to check for maximum allotment. Hence, the allotment will be done at this particular place, that is Z4. It will be selected. 25 has been allotted. And once 25 is allotted, counter effects, this row will go now and this 30 will become 5. Okay. Now let us go for the next iteration. Next iteration again, we need to find out penalty. So penalties are 5, 10, 20 and 5. So now again it is crystal clear that the maximum penalty is this 20. So this column will be selected, and in this column, the allocation will be done as this particular 35. And if I want to allocate at this 35, what will be the allocation?
20.
20. So 20 will be allocated. So 20 allocation is done. Counter effects, this 20 will go off and this will become 5. Now my question to you is whether we go for penalty again or we can write directly.
Directly. 5.
Directly, देखो इस column में in the first column only 1 is remaining for the allocation and there are only 5 units remaining. So I will allocate 5 here. Okay. Similarly, in this particular fourth column, 5 units are remaining and only one cell is remaining to be allotted. So here it will be 5. So you can see 5 plus 5, 10 and this 10 will be balanced out. So we cannot, or we can go for penalty method also, we will get the same answer, or you can also go by the shortcut method directly by observation. Any doubts to anyone in this allocation part?
No, sir.
Now the question will arise like, sir, if all the three are same, then if penalty is also same, then I checked for minimum cost was also same. Then I went for the maximum allotment. The maximum allotment was also same. Then what to do? Okay, can you tell me? In this case, what should we do?
Random learning is okay.
Perfect answer. If all these three are matching, then you can go for random allotment. That means you can allot at any of the two locations where there is a maximum allotment out of after these three steps. Okay, so that will be on your choice. Okay, so after doing this allotment part, we need to check or we need to find out the initial basic feasible cost. So I will write here the total cost. I have not written the word minimum. Just observe this. I have not written the word minimum. I have just written total cost. So total cost, how to calculate? Just see the allotments. So in the first column or in the first cell, there are only 5 allotments and one transportation cost for 1 unit is 55. So it will be 55 multiplied by 5. And so on. If I calculate, I will get answer as 3650 as my total transportation cost. Now, in the question, it was asked to find out minimum transportation cost. So for minimum transportation cost, we need to find out optimality check, or we need to do rather the optimality check by modified distribution method or stepping stone method to confirm our answer for optimality. Now, before proceeding further for the optimality check, the first condition to be satisfied is m plus n minus 1 should be equal to number of allocated cells. This is known as checking for degeneracy. Okay. So the condition for it is m plus n minus 1 should be equal to number of allocated cells, where m is the number of rows and n is the number of columns, or you can say the number of supply points and demand points respectively. So this is the condition. This is the condition m plus n minus 1. So let us calculate m plus n minus 1 first. So there are 3 number of rows in this particular problem and there are 5 number of columns. So it will be 3 plus 5 minus 1, which will give you 7. And can you tell me how many cells are allocated? From the figure you can see how many cells are allocated?
7.
7 only. So I can write here number of allocated cells are also 7. And if I check for this condition, it's getting equal. That is m plus n minus 1 is equal to number of allocated cells. So if this is equal, we have to make one statement that solution is non-degenerate. Okay. So once we got this, next we will go for the setup cost for allocated cells only. This I have highlighted here. I will also explain how to do. This is allocated cells only. So we have to now emphasize on only allocated cells. And here we need to find out what are U's and V's. What are U's and V's for particular row and column. So here I will write U1, U2, U3, V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5. Okay. Now can someone tell me what to assume and where to assume? You can assume any of this variable as any number. You can assume any of the variable, the number of your choice. You can also take minus, minus also. Any number you can take, but for simplicity, we take it as 0 because 0 is the simplest number we can think of for reducing our calculations. So now here I am taking U1 is equal to 0. Now we will not go by the equation method. I will just go by the shortcut method. Now just see for this one. This is the allocated cell, correct? This first one. Just observe this. This is the allocated cell. This 5. And the amount here is 55. U1 and V1. U1 plus V1 should give you the cost at that particular place. So out of which U1 is already 0. So what can I write about V1?
55.
55. Simple. So here I will write 55. This is over. Now again, go to the next cell. This is also allocated cell X2. So that means this 30 should come after addition of U1 and V2. because it is at the intersection of U1 and V2. So U1 plus V2 should give me 30. So what can you tell about V2 value?
30.
30. So I will write 30 here. Similarly, tell me the answer for V3 by taking this 40 as the cost for the third cell.
40.
40 because one is 0, so other will be 40 only. For the next one, V4 will be 50. So this comes to be 50 because U1 plus V4 should give me 50, out of which U1 is 0. So I will get 50 here. Now let us go for the next one. See this. The next cell is this one allocated, Y1. That means the cost, and the cost there is 35. So if this is 35, U2 plus V1. U2 plus V1 should give me 35, out of which V1 is 55. So how much will be U2?
Minus 20.
U2 will be minus 20 because minus 20 plus 55 will give me 35. So here I will write U2 is equal to minus 20. So we got this answer also. Now the last one. Let us go for this 35. Now we know that the corresponding value is U3 and the corresponding value is V4. So U3 plus V4 should give me 50, out of which, sorry, U3 plus V4 should give me 35, out of which V4 is already 50. So how much will be U3?
Minus 15.
Minus 15. So I will write down minus 15 here. Now once I got minus 15, if I consider this cell now I know that U3 plus V5, correspondingly V5 and U3 should give me 30, out of which this is minus 15. So what should I get for V5?
45.
Answer will be 45, correct. So because 45 minus 15 will give me 30. So answer we got as 45. So with this shortcut trick, we have found out all the values of U's and V's. Now next step. After finding out the values of U's and V's, now we have to go for the opportunity cost. And here you can see I have again written in bold. Opportunity cost has to be found out for non-allocated cells only. Can you tell me what is the first non-allocated cell you can see? Go line wise. The cell is 1, 5, correct? First row, fifth column. Cell is 1, 5. So how to find out opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is addition of U1 plus V5. See this. This is a non-allocated cell and the corresponding U's and V's are U1 and V5. So U1 plus V5 minus the cost at this particular place should be calculated as the opportunity cost. So I will write here the first cell U1 plus V5 minus the cost gives you 0 plus 45 minus 50 and the answer is minus 5. Now next allocated cell is this one 30. So 30 is corresponding to U2 and V2. So I will get U2 plus V2 minus 30, that is minus cost at this particular place will give me the opportunity cost. So I will find out here opportunity cost for 2 and it will be minus 20 plus 30 minus 30 and answer I will get minus 20. Okay, so similarly proceed in this similar manner and tell me the answers for the others. I will give you 2 minutes to solve for the remaining cells opportunity cost. I will also display the answers, you can check it yourself. So the answers for the various opportunity cost will be this one. So I have posted, or I have displayed rather, all the values of the opportunity cost. Let us now analyze about the non-allocated cells values. So here you can observe that all the values of delta, that is opportunity cost, are either negative or 0. So if it is either negative or 0, that means there is, okay, first of all, if it is negative, negative indicates there is a no opportunity or there is a negative opportunity. If we allocate at that place, the cost will increase. So we don't want to increase our cost. So we don't consider that values. But this one, this zero indicates that neither opportunity for loss nor profit. What it indicates that if you allocate at delta 3, 1 also, then the solution will remain same. And this we have also discussed in the previous problem. I have allocated one number and we have also balanced it and we have seen that the cost comes same. So this 0 indicates neither profit nor loss. That means the total cost which we have found out from initial feasible solution will neither increase or decrease if we allocate at cell 3, 1. But if we allocate at any other cell apart from this, there is a negative opportunity cost. That means the cost will increase because it is a negative opportunity. So my conclusion will be now, as all the values of delta are negative or 0, solution is optimum. That means whatever we have found out is the optimum answer. That is, there is no further reduction possible in the cost. Hence, now I will write the total minimum cost. The word just I have introduced this one. The total minimum cost, or you can also write as in the question given, total optimal cost or total optimum cost. Anything you can write. Total optimum cost or minimum cost is rupees 3650. That means the answer which we got from initial basic feasible solution was the optimum answer, and this completes the solution.